Hi friends, Ellie here from My Kitchen Science Show. So today we're going to be exploring gravity. And gravity is a force that tries to pull two objects towards each other. And so the Earth's gravity is actually what keeps us on the ground, what causes objects to fall, and why objects fall downwards rather than upwards. Alright, so in order to explore gravity, we're going to need a couple things. First, you're going to need a wooden dowel. You're also going to need 3 paper clips, some string, some tape, a pair of scissors, a metal ruler, 3 strong magnets, and something to hold up your ruler. So I'm using peanut butter jars, but you could use books or blocks or anything like that, as long as it's not metal. So for the first part of this experiment, we're looking at how gravity affects objects. So what you're going to do is tie some string to each paper clip, like so. Now that it's tied to my paper clip, I'm going to cut it about the length of my forearm. And I'm going to do this for each paper clip. Perfect. So now I have all of my paper clips tied to some string. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tie the string to the dowel. Alright, so now all of my paper clips are attached to my dowel with some string. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my dowel into the air. And so I want you to predict what's going to happen when I do this. My predictions are that gravity is going to pull all of the paper clips towards the ground. And so they're all going to be pointing downwards. But maybe you make your own predictions. What do you think is going to happen when I lift the dowel into the air? Let's see. Wow, it looks like my prediction is right. You can see that all of the paper clips are pointing towards the ground. And that's because gravity is pulling them towards the ground. Now I'm going to tilt my dowel towards the right. I'm going to predict that when I tilt my dowel, then the paper clips are still going to be pointing towards the ground. Now this is the time for you to make your own predictions. What do you think is going to happen when I tilt my dowel? Let's see. Wow! I'm right. Look, all of my paper clips are still pointing towards the ground, and that's because gravity is pulling them. Alright, so this is the end of the first part of the experiment. Now for the second part of the experiment, what you're going to do is take all of the paper clips off of the dowel, like so. We won't be needing the dowel anymore, so now you can just put that away. Another really cool force that we're going to be learning about today is actually the force between metals and magnets. And so here's my really strong magnet, and here's my paper clip, which is made out of metal. And so magnets actually attract metals, which is why if I were to put my paperclip right next to my magnet, look. Oh my goodness, it's attracted to my magnet. That's really cool. And that's also the reason why if I put my magnet on my ruler, why it'll also stay. So for the second part of the experiment, we're actually going to see if certain forces, such as the force between a magnet and metal, can overcome the force of gravity. Now, take your metal ruler, take all of your magnets, take your tape, and take your peanut butter jars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my strong magnets onto my metal ruler, about 1 inch apart, or 2 inches apart. Perfect. Now I have all of my magnets attached to my metal ruler. Now I'll take my 2 peanut butter jars. I'll put them about the length of the ruler apart. And now I'll suspend my ruler onto the peanut butter jars with the magnets facing downwards. So now I have all of my strings with my paper clips placed underneath my metal ruler, which is suspended in the air, and that has the magnets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now tape all of the strings to my counter. So now for the next part of this experiment, I want you to think, do you think that there's any force that could ever overcome gravity? Do you think that the magnets might be able to pull the paper clips towards them? My predictions are that when I put these paper clips into the air, that the force of the magnets is going to be so strong and is going to pull the paper clips towards them that the force of the magnets will actually be able to overcome gravity, and the paper clips won't be pointing downwards anymore. I think that they'll be pointing upwards. Now you take a couple seconds. What do you predict will happen? Let's see. Now remember from Harry Potter, when we learn that spell, Wingardium Leviosa, let's see if we can make it levitate in the air. Wingardium Leviosa. I made the paper clip levitate because it's being attracted to the magnet. Now let's see if we can do it for the second one. Wingardium Leviosa. The same thing happened. Wingardium Leviosa. Whoa, look at that. All of my paper clips are suspended in the air pointing upwards. And that's because they're all attracted to the strong magnets on my ruler. I think that that's pretty cool. All right, so today we learned a lot of things from this experiment. First, we learned that gravity always pulls things towards the ground. But we also learned that certain forces can overcome gravity, such as the force between my magnets and my paper clips. And so this is the reason why my paper clips are not pointing towards the ground anymore because of gravity. They're actually being pulled upwards by the magnets. Thanks for doing my experiment with me. Until next time.